business, this is absolutely possible. Not only is it possible, Dr. Una already has a plan for it. We've already planned for this 30-day transformation. So just just sit back and wait to see what we have to unveil. But in the meantime, I would love to, I always do this because I think it's so important to know who's in the room. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear, so for you to type in the chat where you are coming from. First, where you're from, your specialty and where you're from. That's good enough. Your specialty and your state. I always love for any opportunity for connections, right? So any opportunity for connections. You hear a lot of people in the video talking about what a tremendous wonderful thing the community was, right? And the entrepreneur community as a whole, not just EBS. We as a whole, we love to celebrate and encourage and support one another. So I'd love to shout you out, get to know where you're from, get to know what your specialty is, get to know what state you're joining us from. So let's see who is in the room today. We've got Dr. Acadelo, Gynecology in Fresno. Welcome, welcome. Dr. Raymond, Tennessee Endocrinology. Dr. Una, Pediatrics in Peachy Corners. Dr. Echo, welcome. Dr. Gajawira, Preventative Neurology in New York. So good to see you. Okay, Dr. Echo, Psychiatry and Addiction Medicine. Good to see you, sir. Dr. Ben is Maternal Fetal Medicine in Florida. So good to see you. I love maternal fetal medicine. Dr. Nichols is anesthesiology in North Carolina, and Dr. Echo is in Tennessee. This is so good. Now, here's one more thing before I bring Dr. Una on. I know we are so anxious to have her come on, but I want you to think about what resonated the most with you when you watched that video. Um, or even let's just even take apart the video because it's not about you. I love what one of the students said that was like Dr. Latoya Luke says. She said it's not about you. It's not about Dr. Una, it's not about us. It's about you. It's about you. What do you want? What would transformation mean for you? So indulge me, type in the chat, what would transformation in your business mean for you? Let's just see. Just like Dr. Una said, there's no imagination police, right? There's no imagination police. If you could have transformation in your business, what would that mean for you? Does that mean you have more time with your children than you ever had? Does that mean you have, just this wonderful, profitable practice or business that is making impact? What does that really mean for you? I want you to type it in the chat. And then we'll bring Dr. Una on. Thank you, everyone. All righty, let's see. Dr. Nichols says time, financial, and creative freedom. I love the creative freedom part. Oh my gosh. Time freedom is huge. Financial freedom is huge. And then, when you talk about freedom, I can't tell you how many doctors I meet every day that have lost freedom, even how they practice. I mean, the autonomy of being able to practice the way you want and to be able to do things the way you want or the way it should be done. Maybe I should put it that way, right? There are so many changes in medicine, unfortunately, but that's beautiful. Thank you for that, Dr. Nichols. Dr. Ben, the business running on surface without me. Ooh. Having some time freedom. Dr. Ikadeli, freedom to be with my family, less stress, validation. That is such a beautiful dream. If you want to take a week off, you can take the week off and you have less stress because you know everything else is working fine. I love that. Thank you for sharing. Dr. Raymond, freedom, having a smooth workflow and the team that works without me. Oh gosh, it's that system building we're seeing again. If your business is transformed, everything is working smoothly. You don't have to worry about it. Not only are they working without you, they're working the way you would want it to be worked if you were there. They're treating patients the way you want the patients to be treated. They're executing your vision the way you want your vision to be executed. That is beautiful. Dr. Gajawira, I could bring my ideas into fruition and have more impact. That is super powerful. So whatever ideas you have, most doctors that I meet, there's something beyond medicine. There's another step beyond medicine. Then that's the impact. Like they really want to have impact in whether it's their area of passion or in the community or in medicine as a whole. Imagine your business runs so well that you have time to bring those ideas into fruition, have more impact, prove that your mid 50s can be the beginning. Oh, absolutely. Even your 80s or your 70s. like your uh like your mom, Dr. Echo, time for my family, a wonderful practice that helps my community. That's what I'm talking about. I just mentioned impact. Dr. Echo is talking about the impact. And here it is. You can have the best of both worlds. You can have a dream life and you can have a dream business. Oh, and Dr. Una just mentioned that. And speaking about Dr. Una, she is here to carry us on to this transformation, this 30-day transformation. Welcome, Dr. Una.
Hello, hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Okay, so let's do this. If you are not in the shower, turn your camera on. Okay, this we could have been, doing this anywhere, but we're doing it on Zoom. It's not a Facebook Live. It's not an Instagram Live. And we're really here to serve you. We're really here to help you. We see the things that you've written that you want. We want you to have them. So if you're not taking a shower, you know, turn your hi, Dr. Lauren. Hi, Dr. Ashanti. Hello, hello. Right? Like turn your camera on. We're friends. We're gonna have conversations. And we're going to start off here. Like, of course, I was at some point going to talk about the Entree Business School. Yes, but I don't want you to feel like there's pressure. You see Makita, you see me. We don't do pressure. We help doctors. That's what we do. So we're going to have a great time. Okay. And you are going to leave this place ready to crush the next 30 days and make it your best 30 days, like, compared to the last 6 to 12 months. Dr. Shanti, are you walking? Are you taking a walk being healthy? Like you're judging us by that is awesome. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. We got to work this body to live long. Hi, Dr. Keisha. I see you're driving. So we'll just look at you. Don't look at us. Okay. So that except you're at the stoplight. Okay. Okay. So I want to start off. Hi, Dr. Nichols. Dr. Nichols is part of the April cohort of EBS. I'm sure she's already experiencing the transformation, right? So this is going to be good. Okay. So it is amazing how much we can change in the right when the right conditions are there. Okay. And I want you to think about what happened to us as physicians, So for some of us, we were the pimply teenager who decided, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to become this person who would save lives. I want you to think about how ridiculous that is. And we went through the process and we pulled it off and we became physicians. Like, if anybody has evidence of the rapid transformation that can happen to somebody, we do. We do. Think about a heart surgeon. Like, they literally will crack open a chest, pull out a heart, work on the heart, put it back in. And that's because somebody made a decision, I'm going to become that person. Well, you're pretty amazing, just so you know. Okay. And that doesn't matter if you're a heart surgeon or a pediatrician or whatever, same difference. So I want to start off by putting in front of you a little bit of what my story is, because I am you and you are me, right? I am not a consultant that came from the business world. I'm a physician. Okay. I'm a physician who I came from a family of doctors. My dad was a surgeon and my mom was a clinical pharmacist. And they're the reason I'm not married to a physician, because physicians cannot talk about anything but medicine when they're together. Okay. So I was like, I am going to marry somebody whose eyes glaze over when I start talking about medical stuff. So we won't do that. But anyway, I came from a family of physicians, and it was really this model of we are very brilliant physicians and our brilliance pays us. Right. And in the chat, let me know how many of you, like when you came into medicine, that's kind of how it was. Like, I'm a doctor. I learn what I learn. I get really good at it. I get a job takes care of me, and we're good. Right. Or I started practicing, people just come and we're good. And so that's where I came from. But so I had never had any intentions of starting a business, never had any intentions of doing any of that. And like many people today, I got an idea like, hey, I'm going to start a practice. Like, I'm a good doc and people like me and it's going to be amazing. Right. Who's had business ideas like, oh my goodness, this is going to be great. And so I hung my shingle. And my philosophy was I will hang my shingle and they will come. And I hung my shingle and they did not come. And I was like, okay, so what's the problem here? What's going on? Where are they? And I remember being so scared out of my mind because I realized what I had was not going to work. Like, I'm a really good clinician. I have really good bedside manner. I have a really good track record, but this is not going to work. Something else needs to happen. And I didn't know anything about something else. Okay. I was a social awkward, super shy, introverted introvert, all the patients you want. I'm like, we don't do stuff like that. I'm a professional. I'm a physician. We don't, like, what do you mean? Like, market, like, we don't do, show of hands. How many of you are like, I get you, Dr. Una. Like, we don't do stuff like that. And I remember reading a book by Brian Tracy, and I heard these words I'll never forget. And it says, all business skills are learnable. And at that point, I was so frustrated because I didn't know what to do to make my practice work. And I saw other practices and I'm like, they're better than me. And I thought about it and I said, I may not know how to market. I may not know how to sell. I may not know how to lead a team. People, I did everything. I was the front desk. I answered my own phones. I did my own billing. I gave my own shots. I worked up my own patient because I was too terrified to hire anybody. And I said, I may not know anything, but I know how to learn. And that was the beginning of a journey. And in that learning, I became the kind of person who could run a successful business. And in 3 years, we took that practice to its first million. And in 9 years, I completely exited it. I have not set foot in my practice for the last 4 years. And it's still working and it's still bringing seven figures and it's doing all the things. Why? Because I became the person who could do that. I learned how to build a team. I learned how to make money. I learned how to market ethically and professionally. I learned how to do all of those things. Why am I telling you that? Because if I could go from socially awkward, super shy, introvert to that, then you have to understand that you can change. Okay. So when we talk about transforming your business in 30 days, we're not saying this because we just want to say something. We are saying this because over the last 7 years in EntreMD, we have seen this happen over and over and over and over again. We have also seen people who have not embraced change and they haven't changed, but it's available to you. So in the comments, I'm going to use the comments a lot. In the comments, how many of you are like, you would like to be in a different place in 30 days? You may not know fully how, but you would like to be, right? You would like to be. Okay. All right. And so we have set up like a whole program around that, but let me walk you through this from the beginning. Okay. Okay. So the reason you are on this call is because you have a dream. You know that there is another reality that's possible for you. If you only believed in same old, you wouldn't be here. You'll be doing whatever you're doing and just expecting same old, but you're here for that. You're here because you know that there could be something else. And you're here because there could be something else. There's a version of my business I can have. There's a version of my life I could have. And you know why you want it, right? We've had people come into you. I mean, you heard Dr. Erica Bo. She was on the video that we watched earlier. And she came into the EntreMD Business School literally when she joined the business school and they were pressing, I don't know, Makita, what would that be? Submit, enroll, whatever button that was, right? It was her and her boys that did it together because she's like, I want to build a life where medicine doesn't take me away from my kids. I want to build a life where I'm able to earn what I need to earn and I'm able to spend time with them. So she talked about going from full-time to part-time and negotiating a $90,000 raise. So she was working half the time, had time for her kids, didn't need to miss any days, any activities, any events, none of that stuff. That was her why. That was her why. There's another doctor who joined. She joined on her 50th birthday, and that was her present to herself, right? And because she had been in private practice, she was a veteran in private practice, but like it was stressful. She was not the owner of her time. There's so many moving parts. She had issues with her team, and she literally was like, "Man, if I can get private equity to come get this off my hands, this will be amazing." But now she has taken that practice to where she works 2.5 days a week. And last year celebrated her first $1 million month. But her thing was like, I'm not going to do this way anymore. Right. We've seen people who have said, I've been doing this. We had a doctor say this recently. I've been doing this for the last 2 years. I've had my private practice for 2 years. And for 2 years, I've not made any progress. And what is the point of owning a business if I can't make the business work? Right. And I'm putting all this time in and all this stuff. Something needs to change. Right. And so I want you to think about it for your own self. And you don't have to tell us if you don't want to tell us, but I want you to think about your why. And if you have a why, I want you to type in the chat, yes, right? Because this is one life and we want what we want, right? I want to have that dream business. I want to have that dream life. And I have a strong why for it. I want to accomplish this stuff. I want to move this life forward because for me, it was that, my goodness, I want to live a life of profound impact. A business lets me do that. I want to die smiling. I want to die going like I left it all out there. Like it's all done, like completely done. I want to be there for my family. I wanted to homeschool my kids. I wanted all of these things. And so I was like, I am going to build a business. I'm going to make it work. Right. And that's what brought me to this place. So you have that dream, you have that business. But here's the thing, you're probably also here because you're like, I know where I want to go, but I don't quite know how to get there. Or I know where I want to go and I've been trying to go there, but I'm not getting there. Right. And so the question then becomes, so you know that that exists and you're ready to do something about it because there's a gap between where you are and where you want to be. Dr. Ben said generational wealth. You are speaking my language. Speaking my language. And you know there's a gap and you're like, okay, I'm ready. I want to do something about this gap. Right? So you're on here on a Thursday evening and so I know that this is what is going on. So the question is not, do I have a dream? The question is not, do I have a strong why? The question is not, am I clear that I have challenges to get there? The question is the Entrepreneurship Business School the container that will take me there? Right? Like that's more like, because I want to do something, but is this the thing? And so before we talk about whether it's the thing or not, let's look at some alternatives, right? And again, remember, this is not a pressure thing. You and I, we're having conversations. Okay. Okay. So the question becomes, what are the alternatives? And I say this because I am somebody who really leans into the opportunity cost. For everything I say yes to, I'm saying no to something else. If everything I say no to, I'm saying yes to something else. And I'm always trying to pay attention to what the opportunity cost of anything I'm doing is. So what are the alternatives? So for instance, I can do the business school. I can do something about this. Or I can say, I'm gonna not do anything. And I want to implore, I almost want to beg you not to not do anything. Not doing anything doesn't change anything. And even I know we have maybe one or two people here from the business school already, right? Like even for you in the school, right? Like have this attitude, not doing anything doesn't change anything. Okay, so an alternative is to do nothing. Please do not do nothing. The alternative is to wait, which is the cousin of doing nothing, right? Because Makita and I, we talk to physicians all the time. We've talked to people who've waited for a year, who've waited for 2 years, who've waited for 3 years. And they would come to me. I'm not making this up. They will come to me and they'll say, oh my goodness, my friend joined 2 years ago. I was supposed to join with her. And look at where she is. Look at where I am. Waiting is the opportunity cost of that is high. Some people say, I'll figure it out on my own. That's like saying, I'll figure out motherhood on my own. I'll figure out, being a physician on my own. I'll figure out, like, there's no award for figuring it out on our own. And figuring out on our own is expensive. The opportunity cost of it is just so wild. I had a brother who recently relocated from the UK, and he's so fun. And this is like a different continent, right? And he could have figured it out on his own, or he could do what he did, which is he's very smart, is he leaned on the entire village he had to make his journey really easy. So much so that he came here, then decided, I think I'm going to stay. I mean, he is a U.S. citizen, but he was living in the U.K. with his family. And he said, I think I'm going to stay. He even leaned on his people to sell his house in the UK. He didn't go back. Like, I want you to think about how wild that is, but how magical it was for them because they weren't figuring it out on their own. It's too expensive to figure things out on your own, right? And then sometimes there's also the option of, I'll just get a consultant who will show me the ropes. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with consultants showing you the ropes. But the thing is, if you're going to thrive as an entrepreneur, you're going to become an entrepreneur. And the consultant is not going to make you an entrepreneur, right? And so you want your dream business, you want your dream life. These are the things that need to happen. Okay. Now, EBS is what we consider, EBS is the Entree Business School, is what we consider the bridge between where you are and the dream business and dream life that you've wanted to create. And I'm not saying that because it's a cute thing to say. The Entree Business School on June the 27th will be 6 years old. And so it's been around. We've served over 300 doctors. And so at this point, I'm not telling you what I know we can do. I'm telling you what we have done. Okay. So we have data, we have stories. And so whether you're thinking, no problem, Dr. Nichols, whether you are, like I want to build or I am building a direct primary care practice, direct specialty care practice, whether I'm building insurance-based practice, whether you're a coach, whether you have a product, whatever that is, we have served people in all of these industries. Okay, every single one of them. We have helped multiple doctors go from employed physician to multi seven-figure practice owners. We have helped people get on the biggest stages. And again, these are historical facts. These are not things that we are thinking we are going to do. And guess what? These people are the people who get to be your classmates. These are your classmates. These are the people that you get to be in community with, right? We looked at the data for 2025, and we are talking 35% of the doctors crossed $500,000 in revenue, 21% crossed seven figures in revenue, 10% crossed multiple seven figures in revenue. And again, this is data where it's not stuff that we're making up. So it is a container that helps you go from where you are to the business you want to build. That's the only reason it was built. The only reason it was built was for you to win, to build a container for you to win. So what did we put there? And then I'm going to walk you through what we're doing for the 30 days, okay? Because we don't want you to come in and go like, will this work? We want to show you what you're going to do over the first 30 days, okay? All right. So we built it so that you can experience 4 shifts. And I want you to think, like, go back to your dream. We started from there, what your dream business is, right? And why you're doing it, the dream life you want to create on the back end of it. What are the transformations we help you experience? There are 4 main shifts. And if you are going to build your dream business and your dream life, these are 4 shifts you need. The first shift is making that transition from physician to physician entrepreneur. This is a must do. Okay, whether that is how does a physician CEO, physician entrepreneur manage their time? How do they set goals? Right? How do they buy their time back? How do they manage their mind? Because this mind can be full of drama. Like, how do they do that? How do they go from challenge to challenge without losing their enthusiasm? Right? That's the first shift. We help you make that shift. The second shift is how do I build a dominant brand? How do I build a brand that positions me as the number one option? How do I build a brand that attracts, patients or clients and referral sources and opens, unique opportunities for me and puts me on stages? We had an event recently, the Business Makeover Mastermind, and we had 4 doctors, and these are private practice doctors. They are not primarily speakers. And they did over 6 figures in speaking. Why? Their brand opened those opportunities for them. So building that brand, and this is something doctors tell me all the time. I'm afraid to show up on camera. I'm afraid to speak. I'm afraid to do this. I don't want to put myself out there. Don't know what to say to referral sources, all of those things. We will help you do that because you need that for whether it's for your impact, for your revenue, whichever, you need that brand. The third shift we help you make is we teach you how to make money, right? Why? Because a business is an entity that serves people in a profitable way. That's what a business is. Okay. So, when we had the open house, Dr. Moyers came on and shared her story. And she talked about, the where she was doing a locums job, they were shutting down the OB department. And everybody was frantic, like, what is going to happen to us and all of this stuff. And they're like, Dr. Moyers, are you concerned? And she's like, no, I know how to make money. Right. I want you to think about, because for me, my thought process was always, man, it would be nice for us to understand how to create money, revenue in our businesses, the same way we understand the PALS algorithm or the ACLS algorithm, and we just work the algorithm. Right. So that's the third thing. And then the fourth thing is we teach you how to build profitable teams, because an improperly led team is where all profits go to die. Makita and I have talked to doctors who are doing multi seven figures in revenue in their practices and they or their businesses, and they still need to work locum jobs because they can't pay themselves. They can't pay themselves because they have a team that is serving but it's not earning. We show you how to do that, because that is the secret to getting your time back, is a team. That is the secret to multiplying your impact and multiplying your freedom, is a profitable team. Okay. So all year long in the EntreMD Business School, we're not about, high sounding curriculum. We're not about, fluff. We're not about endless calls. We are about helping you gain mastery in these four areas. Because if you are a physician CEO who knows how to build a dominant brand, you know how to create revenue, and you know how to build a profitable team, you will win and win and win and win and win. So we know we're always looking for, what are the critical things that doctors need to learn, not everything. We're not about everything. We're about the thing. Okay. Now, so this is in essence the four things that you're going to master, and then we wrap that up with world-class mentorship. We wrap that up with the gift of accountability, and we wrap that with an elite community of physicians who are building profitable 6, 7, and 8-figure businesses. That's what you get. Okay. Okay. So when you think about it, when we thought about it, the team and I, we said, okay, we know that this works. We've watched what it's done in the lives of doctors, but we also want to do something that will put them in a position that they're winning from the beginning. Okay, so I asked you guys earlier if you're up for your life changing, right? Your life changing radically in 30 days. And so we said, what are we going to do to help doctors experience more transformation in their first 30 days in the business school than they have in the last 6 to 12 months in their businesses, right? So how many of you want to know what that is? Let me know in the chat. What you want, because we built it for you. We call it the EBS fast track experience. It starts on Monday, right? And the idea is, I want you to walk into the business school to say, okay, I know this is going to work. Right now, of course, this is perfect for someone who's made a commitment, like, I'm going to win in my business. Like, I'm going to win. And I just, like, I'm going to add this on, because we're going to come with our commitment, which is, oh, we're going to help you win. Right. So those two things become a match made in heaven. Right. Okay. So if someone's looking for like a get rich quick scheme and stuff like that, we don't do stuff like that. If someone's a whiner, complainer, blamer, like, nobody did anything for me, like, maybe not the thing for you, because you're going to do your part, but we will do our part. Match made in heaven. Okay. So we built this so that you can walk in going, I have nothing to lose. This is what we want. Like, I have nothing to lose. Okay. So what we did is this: when you sign up, right? When you sign up, you're going to get access to like a ton of stuff. So we don't have to talk about that piece. But this is what we're doing in the first 30 days. We have the EBS fast track experience, and we have 3 live sessions. Okay. So it's Monday the 13th, which is literally next Monday. And enrollment for this closes tomorrow. Is it tomorrow, Makita? Tomorrow is the 10th? Yes. Okay. So Monday the 13th, Monday the 20th, and Monday the 27th. Okay. And what we're going to work on those 3 days are the things that are going to set you up to be different in 30 days. So the first thing that we're going to do on the first session, we're going to do two things. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to show you how to maximize your investment in the EntreMD Business School. The team and I have studied doctors over the last 6 years to say the people who are getting the biggest results, the people who are getting the most consistent results, the people who get result after result after result, what do they have in common? Okay. What do they have in common? And we have narrowed those things down. So we will come and we will tell you, these are the things that you need to do if you want to 10x your investment, whatever number you want on your time in the EntreMD Business School. Okay. So we're going to start with that. So it's almost like a cheat code. We have, and let me tell you what I mean by this. We have had doctors, and I'm not telling you these are the results you would get because everybody chooses what they want to get, but I want to show you the level of transformation. Okay. We have had people come into the school and in their first year, they did 7 figures in revenue. We have had people come into the school. We had Dr. Prem, he shares his story. He came into the school and somewhere about month 9 in the school, his job, they decided to fire him. He decided to start a practice. He started the practice about the 12th month. He did 100,000 his first month, cracked 7 figures in 7 months. We had people crack 7 figures in 15 months, 18 months, 20 months. I want you to think about someone going from employed physician to 3 million in revenue in 3 years. It's just like pretty crazy stuff, right? Now we condense all the things we've studied about these people to then come and tell you, okay, you want to get the most out of this? This is what they did. Okay, so it's the ultimate cheat code. This is legal cheating. Okay, and we'll tell you this is exactly what you want to do to get the results. That's the first thing we're going to show you on the first session. The second thing we're going to show you on that session is, well, let me see if you need it. How many of you would like to come into the EntreMD Business School, but you're not sure you would have the time to execute? If that's you, type me in the chat. You're like, I want to come in, but I don't know if I'm going to have, I don't know if I'll have the time. Like I'm already so busy. I can't possibly add all of this stuff on top of that. Right? Okay. So the second thing we're going to do in the first session is we are going to show you we're going to introduce you to a tool we call the CEO calendar. And we are going to show you how to manage your time like the ultra successful. We have had people buy back 3 to 10 hours of their time every single week by using this. So it doesn't matter what your schedule looks like now. You will walk off that call knowing, oh, I just need to do 1, 2, 3, and I will have 3 to 10 hours of my time back. You may go like, my goodness, I'm just going to use that for a nap. Okay. You don't even have to do anything with the time. It's just that it's your time. You can do whatever you want to do with it. So you have the bandwidth to work on your business. When we looked at the data for 2025, what we found out is the people who have stayed in the school the longest and made the most money were the people who took the most time off. I want you to imagine a world where the bigger your business grows, the more time you take off. I want you to just imagine that. That's what you're signing up for. So we had 9% of the people who filled out that survey took more than 3 months off. 3 months building wildly successful businesses, and they took 3 months off. How? The CEO calendar. Okay. So at the end of call 1, you already know what to do to 10x your investment or whatever number you pick. And you already know what to do to get your time back. In fact, not know what to do because you're going to do it in real time. These are workshops. We're not coming to play, right? So you're going to walk away having bought back your time. So for some of you, you're already like, oh my goodness, I already got my return on investment in week 1. Okay. Week 2, we're then going to look at how to create revenue on demand. Because you know how to run codes on demand, right? Because it's an algorithm. In the same way, there's an algorithm for revenue creation. So we're going to walk you through it. We have a tool for that. It's called the revenue generation framework. And we're going to walk you through it and show you how to build your custom version. How do I create revenue? And you're going to become a master at it. Okay. So you will have what you need to do to start working on your business right away to set the stage for revenue. And we're only at the second week. Okay. Then the third week, we are going to show you what we do to create, like to set goals properly. Now, okay, so in the EntreMD Business School, I'll tell you about this because you're about to be, is about to be your reality. In the EntreMD Business School, we do 4 years in one. So when you see some of the wild results they get, part of it is we have 90-day years. Okay, so EBS, like April 1st, everyone's like, happy EBS New Year, right? Because we live by quarters. And we have a tool we call the 90-day sprints plan workshop that we use to set goals for each 90-day block. So every 90-day block is captured and utilized. And so when we started doing it, it was not unusual to hear people say, oh my goodness, I did more in Q1 than I did all of last year. Because now they understand how to properly use a 90-day block. Properly use it. In EntreMD, for instance, we made 12 pivotal changes in the first 90 days of the year. That's a change a week. I want you to think about that. A change a week. It will blow your mind what your life can look like when you start living like this. Okay. So we'll show you that. And then you also have a training for mindset mastery. Okay. So I want you to think about this. What will happen to you if in a 30-day block, you understand how to take full advantage of the EntreMD Business School. You understand how to buy back your time. Now you're the boss of your time. Your time is no longer the boss of you. You understand how to create revenue on demand. You understand how to properly set goals. You understand mindset mastery, and you get inducted into the EBS Commonwealth, which is the private community for the EntreMD Business School. So all the people that you've seen, like people who are building ridiculously amazing businesses, are now all your classmates. They're there to support you. They're there to help you. They're there to be vision boards for you. They share their numbers. They share their trials. They share everything. It is set up in a way that all you need to do is follow the yellow brick road. And at the end of 30 days, you will look back and say, golly, what happened here? This is 30 days. And whatever is happening in EBS, you still get that. We're not excluding you from anything. But this is your focused fast track for the EntreMD Business School. So this is the deal. When you look at what we are committed to doing, you'll find that you have nothing to lose. You really don't have anything to lose, because we've set it up that you win or you win. Okay. So all the things I've talked about is not about EBS at all. It's about you, right? It's about, am I going to make the commitment to me? Am I going to make the commitment to my dream? Am I going to do the commitment to the business I can create, the life that I can have? And it really is decision time, right? Some of we've been hanging out on the podcast for 2.5 years, and you've been thinking about it. And I want to invite you to stop thinking about it. Let's be about it, right? Let's be about it. Let's get this stuff done. Let's move our life forward. Let's defy the status quo. Let's go, right? And so I'm going to open this up for questions in a second, but this is what happens, okay? Makita will post the links, okay? If you want to pay in full, you can pay in full. You want to pay the payment plan, you can do the payment plan. Once that's done, you have your intake survey. You do that. You get your links for your fast track, and boom, on Mondays, go time. Go time. 30 days from now, everything could be completely different. And things don't get different because we think about them. They don't get different because we wish them. They don't get different because we're fed up with where they are. They get different because we decide. We decide it's time. I've thought about this enough. I've done all this. It's time. And if you notice the things we talked about, we're not going to teach you during the EBS fast track. We're going to help you implement in real time. This is what creates the change. Okay. This is what creates the change. Okay. And after you do this, you're going to get addicted. You're like, if all of that could happen in 30 days, oh my goodness, if I did this every 30 days, what could happen? And that is literally what's happening with the docs in the school. Literally. Okay. And I'd love to see that for you. So it is decision time. You've thought about it. You've asked questions about it. Some of you have been on 3 calls with Makita, and Makita loves to talk to you, and I love you talking with her. So there's no issue with that. But the only way you became a doctor is after all the research you decided. The only way you got married is after all the dating you decided. Like, so this is the time, is decision time. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can post those in the chat. I'm happy to answer them. Makita, if there are any questions that came in the chat, I can answer those. Or if you have questions that have come up in all the conversations that you've had with the doctors, you can unmute yourself. We can go through some of those and serve the good doctors here. Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Una. I don't see any questions so far. I think one question that has come up, and you've addressed it somewhat, but maybe you could give us an idea of the time commitment. What
Yeah.
is the time commitment for the business school?
Okay, so that's a great question. So first of all, in the EntreMD Business School, outside of the fast track, we have a mentorship call every week. I call it World Class Mentorship. And it is every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. It runs for about 90 minutes. Okay, so that's a 90-minute block. That 90-minute time, you either want to block off to attend live or block off to attend the replay. Because again, we make it not curriculum heavy. And so you have one call, right? Like now you have an implementation call on Friday. So if you think about it, that's 2.5 hours. But the implementation call is not about learning, it's about doing. So you're actually working on your business in real time. And so if you come on the call, and depending on the stage of business, you have 2 to 5 hours, for implementation for a week, it will rock your world. And someone may say, oh my goodness, like that's a lot of time. But that's why we put the CEO calendar first. We're going to help you buy back your time, to show you how to think about your time. And remember, many people have time for doom scrolling and all those things. We're just going to swap one thing out for the other. So about 2 to 5 hours. But then again, if you're full time in your business and you have time, again, the more time you put into it, the more you get out. So can everybody do it? Yes. But you will learn how to use your time differently. If you see somebody who is an ultra successful person, a person who accomplishes a lot by doing less, they are people who have mastered time. And so we probably twice a year, like for the school, come back to the CEO calendar and do a deep dive because it's that important. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Dr. Una, the business school is a year program, and sometimes people wonder. There's two questions I often get is I think sometimes people are worried about coming into something that's already going,
Ah,
and how will they fit in terms of um, where they are in their business. Different businesses at different stages, their knowledge base, all of that. So if you can address that, that'd be great.
yeah. Okay. So the Entrepreneur Business School was intentionally built for diversity. And Makita, we probably need to do a podcast episode on this. Okay. So this is the deal. So hear me when I say this. When you think about residency programs, you have people at your level, if you will, but you have people above you, have people beneath you, and all of those kind of things. Then you have your consultants, and you have your attendants on all of this. So it's a the experience is very diverse, and we need that. We need that. Okay, so when you come into the EntreMD Business School, people would ask me like, "Oh, why is it not only private practice or only coaches or only this?" This is why. Okay, this is the ultimate cheat code. Innovation, a lot of times, is taking what works in an industry and bringing it into your own industry. And so you'll see coaches do things a certain way. You're like, what? In private practice, why do we do this? And they will see things done a certain way. They're like, what? Why do we do this? And so they're learning from each other and bringing innovation to their own industries. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is when you think about, people are in different phases. In entrepreneur business school, we have everybody from startup to eight figures. We have the whole thing. And what happens is this: the people who are starting get to see the people who are doing $1 million months, and they're like, oh my goodness, right? And so when someone tells you you can't make 100,000, you can't make 300,000, you can't bring yourself to believe it, because you see all these people doing all these things, and you listen to them share their stories, and you're like, these people are just like me. They have the same challenges I have. They have the same mind drama that they have. Like, this is unbelievable. And so you're like, if they can do that, what could I do? So we invite the people in the school to choose inspiration over intimidation, because it's our choice. We can choose, oh, they're doing so much better than me, I'm intimidated, or they do so much better than me, I'm inspired. Okay. Now, for the person who's doing $1 million a month, when you start getting successful in business, it's dangerous. Like, good is the danger, is the poison of great. And so when they see the growth mindset and the speed of evolution, all of that of the person starting, it makes them go like, man, I used to be like that. And now nobody can tell me nothing. Maybe that's why I'm stuck. Right. And so they help each other. Same way, like a newborn comes into a family, all of a sudden it's like, oh, we need to eat better. We need to clean our potty mouth. We need to do all these things. Like, all that transformation is happening. It's a newborn that can't even talk, doesn't even know what they're doing. And so the variety is a gift. It's not a disadvantage. It's a huge gift. Okay. And then as far as, oh, I'm starting, am I going to get lost? First of all, your classmates are so supportive. They've been waiting for you. They've been waiting for you. In fact, there's a post in the business school Facebook group right now where people who've been there since 2020, 2021, 2022 are sharing, this is what I do to get the most out of this. Like, they're giving you cheat codes. They're there for you. They want to see you win. You're not coming in and you're like the new kid. That's not the way that works. Having said that, remember, you have your cohort having a 30-day fast track experience. And so by the time you're done with that, you'll know the lingo, you'll be aware of, how the thinking there happens and all of that stuff. So you will blend right in. And that's the idea, right? Okay. So, the fact that you're just starting when people have been there, not an issue. We've corrected for that. People being in different stages is actually a gift. It's not a disadvantage at all. Like, not at all. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Ona. And I would say probably if we have to end with one more question, it would be how do you help someone make that decision? Or what would you say to someone who wants to make the decision, but they're finding it difficult to finally make the decision? You always say make the decision and make it right. And then, sometimes people are thinking that, okay, if I wait, there'll be a better time, or if you know maybe I'll wait until I save the investment. There's so many reasons why somebody would want to wait, but our experience has always been people always say, I just wish I'd done it sooner. So how can you address that? How what you would say to somebody that's in that kind of decision paralysis?
Yeah, and one of the doctors actually said that last night on the call. Someone in the April cohort, she's like, "Shoot, I wish I started this, like a long time ago, right?" Okay, so I will talk to you as me. Well, I always talk to you as me. I'm not trying to. There's no manipulation here or anything like this, but just hear me when I say this. We only have the here and now. Um, and the decision to stay the same, because the decision to wait is the decision to stay the same, right? The decision to stay the same is very expensive, very, very expensive. So I gave the example of a doctor who, came in on her 50th birthday and now is working 2.5 days a week. And, her practice just hit their first $1 million. Well, that was last year. They hit their first $1 million month and so and all. I want you to think about that. $1 million month, that's 12 million a year. That's 10 million. Let's say some averaged out in a different way. That's 10 million in a year. And she could have not done it. She was 50. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was 50. She could not have done it. She could have just skipped it. But she's been in the school for 5 years now. That is literally multiple eight figures she would have left on the table. Multiple eight figures she would have left on the table, and she would have been working 4 to 5 days a week. So this is the math we want to do, the opportunity cost of saying the same. And if you're already in business, you've already started a business, it's like 10 times worse than if you haven't, because every mistake in business costs you money. So people say ignorance is bliss. I'm like, it must be in another planet, because in entrepreneurship, ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is you bleeding from your bank account. You may be here and you run a private practice and you don't know how to fill up your schedule, and your schedule is at 50% capacity. Have you ever done the math of what that equates to? You know what I mean? You're working, 5 days a week in your practice that you've had for 10 years, but what if you could work 3 days a week because that's what you really want, right? So it's truly not the investment. It's truly not that. It's the opportunity cost is what is expensive and painful. And so when I first had the opportunity to enroll in a program, it was after 2016. I knew that medicine as we knew it was dead. It makes sense now. It did not make sense then. And I knew I had to retool myself. I knew if I stayed the same, I was going to be out of luck. Oh, I knew I was going to be out of luck. And so I was like, okay, I need to do something. And I was like, okay, what could I do? I'm like, okay, well, and, physicians, I could be the CEO of my practice. I could, speak on stages and all this stuff. And I had the opportunity to sign up for a speaker training program. And they were talking about a program. I'm like, this is amazing. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're going to speak on this stage. We're going to show you this. I was like, what? I was like, this super shy, socially awkward, introvert is about to be a whole speaker. Then here comes the woman and she says, and the investment for this program is $43,000 for 10 months. I got mad. I didn't know anything about what I was like, is this thing laced with gold? Like, what is going on here? But I'm so grateful that I stopped and I said, but I've been here for 3 days and I'm different. I've been here for 3 days and I'm different. And it's the same way you may say, I listened to the podcast and I've made changes from the podcast. I've come in her workshops. It was Dr. Ishmael who was like, I came on her workshop. I applied what she said. I made 20 grand. And the year before, my business did 40 grand. I'm like, what in the world? So I said, if I could experience that, what would happen if I did this for 10 months? I am so grateful I thought that, because, I don't know. And so I gulped and I said yes. And I remember it was a payment of $43.90 a month for 10 months. And it's not that I had the money lying down anywhere. That felt like bleeding. But till today, this was almost 10 years ago, till today, my husband and I still laugh about it and say that is the best $43,000 we have ever spent. Because that's what took me from here to there. I was going, Mikito, you find this funny. I put my kids had been homeschooled for years and years and years. And just, 2 years before COVID, so probably 2018, I put them in private school. And I had dropped them off at school and had just paid their private school tuition for 4 children. I mean, if you would know, I was having a morning. Okay, so I was driving home. I was like, golly, that's an obscene amount of money to spend. And I just had this idea. And this is what the idea was. They're young now. They're going to be older later. And you're not going to remember what you invested in their education. What you will remember is who they've become. And so anytime you have an opportunity to exchange dollars for transformation, exchange it and exchange it gladly. So that was the last time I ever complained about their tuition. Because 20 years from now, I won't remember that. What I will remember, what I'll be grateful for is who they have become. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't have the time, we've told you what we'll do with the time. Oh, I don't know about the money. And someone said the cost in the business school, actually, one of the people in the April cohort, and everybody's like, no, 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 this is not a cost. This is an investment. Because who you become on the other side and what you're capable of creating on the other side is worth every dime. It pays for himself several times over. So the idea is this: make the decision and make it right. You don't have anything to lose. You have nothing to lose. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. So that's my answer.
Thank you for that, Dr. Una. And does anyone have any questions, you feel free to put them in the chat. We are here. We have this time specifically just for you. Dr. Gajawir says the decision to wait is a decision to stay the same. I have to go. I'll see you on Monday. Okay. Good to see you. Thank
We'll see you
you.
on Monday. See you on Monday. It's gonna be a blast. I'm so looking forward to this. And we have a really nice cohort. Really lovely docs who've worked. Okay. So we're going to let you guys go. Okay, so your links entremd.com/3pay if you want to do the 3pay, entremd.com/pay in full if you want to do the pay in full. I always joke that we gave you $110,000 discount because the MBA in Emory where I am is 140,000. You're only paying 30. Okay. Okay, so that's what we gave you. But don't decide to stay the same. Don't decide to wait. Just make the decision there's a reason you're on here. And if you have questions, you can always book a call with Makita on entremd.com/call. She'll be happy to talk with you. And then I look forward to seeing many of you on Monday when we start the EBS fast track experience. Okay. And I have already booked the date. I'm going to interview all of you guys after your 30 days to say what happened in 30 days. Please, inquiry minds want to know. Okay. So that's how committed we are to it. Okay. All right. Rooting for every single one of you. We will see you on Monday in the EBS Fast Track experience. Okay. All right. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.